Hello everyone. In this video I will teach you how to play Gin Rummy. I will tell you all the rules and nuances of this game that are not in other videos. Let's get started. To play we need a deck of 52 cards. Jokers do not play, only 2 players. We also need a pencil and a piece of paper to record points. The game is played up to 100 points. Whoever scores 100 points or more first wins. The dealer shuffles the deck and cuts the deck. Each player is dealt 10 cards. The remaining deck is placed on the table and the top card is turned over. Players place an unwanted card on the open card, and players draw cards from the closed deck. All cards in a player's hand add up to points. The sum of the points in Gin Rummy is called Deadwood. The lowest card in the game is the ace, which gives 1 point. The other cards give points at face value. Tens, jacks, queens, kings give 10 points. The player's task in each round is to reduce Deadwood and close the discard pile of cards. This is called a knock. A player may only knock when his Deadwood is 10 points or less. How to reduce Deadwood to 10? You must collect combinations of cards. These are sets and runs. A set is 3 or 4 cards of the same value. For example, 3 queens, that's a set. A run is 3 or more cards in a row of the same suit, like ace, 2, 3 of diamonds, that's a run. Another example, the 5, 6, 7, 8 of clubs is also a run. A run can start with an ace, but it cannot end with an ace. Cards that are part of combinations of sets and rana give for 0 points. This is exactly how Deadwood is reduced. The first open card can be taken by my opponent, as he is not the dealer. If a player does not want to take this card, he says pass and then this right goes to me. If I don't want this card, I also say pass and the right to move goes to my opponent again. Now he takes a card from the closed deck and decides whether to keep it or not. If he keeps it, he must discard any card in the open pile. A player must always have 10 cards in his hand. Then it is my turn to go and I do the same thing. My opponent packed up the run. I collected a set. It's very easy. This is how players play and gain runs and sets. This continues until one player's Deadwood is 10 points or less. When knocked, the 11th card is placed closed on the open pile. The remaining Deadwood will be less than or equal to 10. Players reveal their cards. A player who did not knock and is revealed may reduce his Deadwood if his Deadwood cards match the sets and runs of the player who knocked. This is sometimes called building a ladder. see what it looks like. Just now, my opponent reduced his Deadwood by 13 points. You may not build a ladder if the knocking player has declared Gin. How do I count points? The knocking player's points are subtracted from the other player's Deadwood. The difference of Deadwood points is recorded in the table by the player who announced the knock. In this case, 10 points of the knocked player are subtracted from the second player's 40 points. The result is 30 points. These points I record for myself. There are bonus combinations in Gin Rummy. There are only 3 of them. Undercut. This is a situation where the player who declared knock has more Deadwood points than his opponent. For example, the player who knocked Deadwood has 10 points and his opponent has only 7 points. The knocking player has lost, even though he announced the knock. For this, the other player gets 25 points and another Deadwood difference. Gin. This is when a player has all 10 cards going into sets or runs. When Gin is claimed, the player gets 25 points and the opponent's Deadwood points. Big Gin occurs very rarely. This is when a player has 11 cards make up sets and runs. In this situation, the player puts all 11 cards on the table and does not cover the open pile. For this, the player gets 31 points and the opponent's Deadwood points. If there are only 2 cards left in the closed pile, the game ends. The deck is shuffled and the round begins again. Subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends.